Hi, this is an introduction to my N-Gauge Modern UK Model Railway. I'm just going to occasionally update on this layout, which is Pridham Parkway, as well as my O-Gauge Garden Railway in later videos. I've not got any real aim with the videos, but this one will just go over the layout, what's been done and general plans for it. I do think possibly I'll do beginner step-by-step guides for certain aspects like setting up the automation system I choose, which currently I think is going to be a mix between DCCEX and Megapoints controllers, or making the helixes and anything else I think would be benefit for that more dumbed down approach for people who have zero experience to get to know the basics. But like I said, the video is an introduction to this layout, which is called Pridham Parkway after what will be the feature station. It's N-Gauge and it is nearly 5x5 meters room, spread over 2 levels, with scenic on top and the fiddle yard below. It's set in the current day in UK, nowhere in particular but in a built up large town or city area, possibly somewhere where you'll find a tube train or maybe even tram, but those are just possible plans if they fit. Trains you will see on it will be mostly modern, but not really any area, and you will see older trains like steam as well. I don't have great knowledge on trains, and to be honest I take no enjoyment actually playing and controlling trains. The things I really enjoy is a fully automated train, working away, moving realistic speeds around as realistic scenery as you can get. My skills may not be up to that standards, but I'm hoping to keep learning and get to be the best I can on this layout. The physical controls are done by a cheap old Android tablet and this old laptop which I have attached to the side of the layout. It is always plugged in and connected to the train controller as well as these 2 screens. In the future, when I need it to be, I could put a diagram of the layout as well as point controls using JMRI on the screens, or when not needing that like now, I could just watch YouTube or Netflix. Behind the laptop I can pull down this door to show the control of the layout. I have put together Arduino using DCCEX and I've chosen this as I did originally buy a lens controller many years ago, but was then struggling with the costs of the add-ons needed to do what I wanted. I saw a video on DCCEX and how cheap and relatively easy it is to make yourself and how expandable it is, and have really enjoyed doing this. There are plenty of options to expand on it with points, controls and automations, but I've been looking into using Megapoint controllers over the last few days and currently researching it, hoping it would be a different solution to add on to what I'm currently using. Like I said, I'm hoping to make this a nearly fully automated layout where I can press a button and then it spends the next 30 minutes or so being its own little scheduled layout. And my enjoyment in this layout is that and learning how to do it. I have started with zero knowledge in electronics and often overwhelmed in learning about it. Forums users of DCCEX and Megapoint controllers are amazing and so helpful and wanting to help, but I always think of this meme when I need help. They try their hardest, but it's so hard to compensate their knowledge to lower down to yours. And when I get a reply, I then have to spend another hour learning what their response means or just don't understand at all. Or one video I saw, which was for beginners, which skipped over a huge segment because they assumed we would know it, but a beginner would not, and then I was completely lost. So that's why as I go along learning these things, I want to make a step-by-step guide for complete newbies. That at least is aimed to get you on the ladder of knowledge. A part that may make many electricians shudder is this bit here where I put all the sections of track into block sections and then put them towards these light switches. So if I ever have a problem on track, I can just turn them all off, turn them on individually and find out which bit's short-circuiting. The fiddle yard is planned to have 20 through lanes, each being able to hold a minimum of a train and 8 Mark III coaches through. Though can be up to way more than that, and some can hold up to 20 Mark III coaches. Not that I ever need that, but those ones are more designed to be split into 2 or 3 block sections to hold multiple trains waiting to take their turn. I did plan to make 20, but that may be reduced to 18 lanes as it is near impossible to reach the back to. So I can't see a reason to put them in, just as we breaking a rule of ease of use. And also with the idea of possibly putting in a helix in the back corner, this keeps this open if I do that, which is likely. I have not done it yet as I'm waiting to see how much space the electronics take up, but here may also be a few more pieces of track for small DMUs or single trains to go here. There will be a track at the front which will also be a programming track as well as normal powered, which can be switched with a flick of a light switch to just drive it off into the layout. All the points here will be servo powered, but all above the board, as is everything on this board, for ease of use of fixing and troubleshooting any problems. But looking at Megapoint's controller, it looks like you can vary what motors you use, so I may change that to another type for here if it's better suited. It then carries on around here to where some of the longer sections carry on to hold more trains. I did not originally plan to have 8 boards at the back, but I have changed that and will now be there for the trains from the back helix's tracks to run on. It then leads around to under where the main station is before heading up to the next helix. I've been considering making a little scenic section here. An underground station is something I really want to do, but I just don't think I can realistically fit it in as there's no spaces at the end. But I will keep working at ideas for that. It's something I want to do as I want an underground station, and also while I want to make the bottom board as best as I can, it doesn't give much time for scenery, so this may be a chance to practice the scenery and everything to do with that. Originally, when I planned the railway, when I first moved into the house, I wanted helixes where they are now to take trains from the top to the bottom and vice versa. But when I first came to building a layout and looking at videos of people building helixes, I was put off as a lot of models like Everard Junction were having long-term troubles and going away from them. And when I looked at the cost and road, it would be so much for something that would cause me issues. So instead I built a massive board that came out here, reaching all the way across from where the helix is now to all the way to the other side, with just a small gap to walk through. This was my fiddle yard originally, but then I found I was not enjoying being in this room as there's no space to do anything and it just felt so crowded. So I had a good 8 months or so of not really doing any work at all because I was not enjoying being in here. And then one day I realised I could try 3D printing a helix. So in a bit of a rash decision, I tore pretty much the whole layout up, apart from the bases and starting again. I built this helix as a test originally and it seems to have worked well, and I think with all the rods, bolts and all the printing costs involved, it came to about £40. And after a year of it going through all sorts, it held up perfectly, including weather changes, obviously, being put in place, weights put on top, all sort of little things I could test just to see how long it would last for, and it's done very well. So I decided to go ahead and make the second one, which is how I actually came about making this channel. As I was doing it, I was making videos for myself so I can remind myself of any issues and better ways to do things for when I make another 2, if I still do those. Because I wanted to add 2 more possibly, and then realised I had enough to make a YouTube video in case anyone else wanted to do it. I will be making that video as the next video probably, once I finally finish the helix. As the trains come up and out of the helix, the first side is where the main station will be. This is where the layout gets its name, Pridham Parkway. It is going to be 6 lines going through, as well as 2 extra terminus space stations. It's going to be raised above the streets on a viaduct, and this will have a city, large town feel about it based on real roads around London. My aim is to be able to fit 11 car Pendolino in here, but I may miss out on that, but will at least aim for at least one of the platforms to be able to fit it. It then leads us onto this board, which I have not fully decided yet, but have got some ideas what I will do here. I'll think about it and continues what I work out to do a bit, but we'll have the 4 lanes going from the station onto the next one. I bet it will be a big town city type thing. Then it comes onto this board, which will be based on the old Bideford station and surrounding areas around Easter Water, though it will be a reimagining of it. The current track was torn up, I think, in the 1980s and now a cycle footpath. This will be what if the railway is still there today. The only real difference being it's not going to be next to a river and there will be 4 lines going through instead of 2. It will start roughly where the station is now and go along and under the road. I'm going to try my best to keep this section as close as I can to the real thing, and going to keep this section partially accurate to what would be there if the railway was still there today. Behind its station it raises steeply and houses are built on that hill. I'm hoping to include it as high and as far back as I can go. If I do this station, it will be a small station with only the outer line 7 platforms. Currently there is empty space at the front which is used to be, I think, all industrial buildings. Currently it's all just been recently knocked down and it's just empty land. But I will probably either build more of a turn in front, or if it works out, like a TMD, places for industrial railway, I'm not quite sure yet, but something along that lines. But there won't be a quay, or if there is, it'll be very small, not like the big river is now. The final part of the layout is here, which is I'm planning on doing a small crossover section here in front of the door. I was not originally, but I have a train that can't seem to make any gradient on the turn at all, and it's also as a backup in case something goes wrong with one of the helices, and I can still at least go around in circles on the top. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet though, as the door opens inwards and so I can't really have a lift out section. I was thinking of having it stand out a little bit so it goes in front, but that will make it a bit too tight of a curve. And my other option is to possibly removing the door or having it open outwards. I've got a few options, none of them are that great, but we'll cross that when I come to it. Yeah, no pun intended. In here is where you find the first of 3D printers. This is resin one. Has all the cleaning station and everything you need in here. So use that terrible bit. It's all freestanding, all the shelves in there, nothing attached to the wall. It all shut, so when it's not in use it's kind of shut away, and then because obviously it's quite toxic. This is where I make all the little figures or anything like that I can make in with this 3D printer. Then I have the 2 filament printers. This Anycubic one I originally had, but then it broke and I've not really fixed it because I don't really use it at the moment. And then the Bambu Lab one, it's the best printer you can buy. If you, of all ones I've had, this is great. I have the AMS thing. Looking at the dust on it, you can see I never actually use it. I just tend to print with one reel. I never really need it, so one day I'll use it. So yeah, that was my video, just an introduction. Apologise for, I've never really filmed anything, did audio or edited anything. It's my first time with all of those, and yeah, I'm not the best speaker or anything, so but hopefully it's at least watchable. And yeah, I'll be making more soon. And yeah, any questions, just comment or do the usual stuff everyone will ask for, like, and all that. But yeah, thank you for watching and have fun.